Hey everyone, John Henry here, and today in the market psychology video, taking a look at crude oil's heavy gap fill and then a reversal right back in the opposite direction. So yesterday we really didn't go very far, and that seems to be kind of the story of the past, man, it feels like the last month. We really haven't gone very far. We have big ranges, but we're not really accomplishing much, right? We're just kind of getting stuck in the middle. Now, the one thing that really stands out about yesterday is that huge bull candle at the very end of the day. Very apparent that the buyers are trying to pick it up at the end of the day to drive the market higher. And we actually gapped up due to that bullishness. Now, that gap higher, after a close like this, we already know that there are a lot of buyers in, and they're probably going to take profit, and that's going to cause a nice little move down. Now, you want to look to sell just to fade it back down, possibly to fill the gap, maybe to go a little bit further for a bigger move, but then you get this first candle of the day. That's not really good enough, right? You don't really want to be a seller underneath that kind of candle because it's mostly just a doji, and that's not showing you a whole lot of conviction on either side. So we need a little bit more information from the sellers, and we get that on this big boy right here, showing that the sellers are in fact coming in and want to drive the market down. So that is your reason to get into the short side, just looking for the gap fill. They push down, fill the gap to the tick, and start turning back around. Now, we can't be a buyer yet because this may just be another leg down that ends up just being an AB equals CD kind of move. So we need to wait for a little bit more information. There will be buyers that buy this knowing that, yep, we filled the gap good enough, I'm just going to turn into a buyer. That's obviously very discretionary, but if there's a reason to, you can. We need a little bit more info though. So we see the buyers coming in and the sellers try fading that area of resistance right there. Now, here's where it gets really interesting because that initial test of that level seems very bearish. Just look at the wicks at the top, right? The buyers tried breaking out above it and the sellers said, nope, you're not getting through this level. Sorry, try again later, right? Well, unfortunately for the sellers, they really didn't get very far. It seems like they spent all their bullets up here and ran out of ammo when it came time for the follow through. And the buyers picked up on that weakness and shoved it right back in their face saying, oh yeah, well, try me, right? So the buyers come back in directly in their face, and that is a beautiful reason, knowing that the sellers now are getting nervous. They're feeling like they're in the wrong side of the market. They would have entered in underneath here and not a second of it would have been profitable for them. And it turned right back up. And this is not the kind of candle that the bears want to see if they're in short. So we know that the buyers are going to be taking over, and we know that the sellers are going to be wanting to be getting out. And that is a beautiful reason to become a buyer. The sellers try it one more time, and that ends up doing the exact same thing, trapping in some more sellers, turning right back around. Now we know we have them by the throat, right? There are a bunch of sellers in this, and their stops, big chunk of stops right above here, right? They're going to put their stops above the swing high. They may even begin exiting where they know that they're wrong. So we're getting a little bit of fuel, adding a couple logs of the fire here and there, but the big bonfire is going to happen up here. So we're waiting, buying into it, and we finally get the hit, and look at that follow through, right? Huge follow through. All the sellers that tried taking that one, you know, they just got screwed. They got hit. It immediately lit that fire and hammered higher. Big breakout move. Buyers will buy that as well. But just, it goes to show you, sometimes it's best just to wait for that little bit of extra information, wait for the technicals and market psychology to line up, and you have one heck of a 1-2 punch, and that can cause a huge run to get the market going. So that's going to do it for me. Hopefully you learned something and hopefully you found it interesting, and we'll see you next time.